Welcome back to our podcast. I'm Q Hao Jan, and today I'm here with my sister.
Today, we will be discussing about the nagging voice inside our heads that keeps on telling us that we are not capable as the others in the room and we are just a lucky fraud who's about to be caught out.
We are talking about imposter syndrome at work. So, what is actually imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is the psychological phenomenon involving persistent self doubt and the fear of being exposed as a fraud, despite evidence of your competence. It is important for us to talk about imposter syndrome because it is a very huge performance killer. It keeps brilliant people from speaking up during meetings, applying for promotions, or trying out new things in their work.
Oh no, that sounds mentally exhausting. Unfortunately, there is no threshold when it comes to the level of accomplishment where you can eradicate imposter syndrome. Even Albert Einstein, who is a high achiever in the field of physics, he had discovered numerous formulas and theories. Albert Einstein also had doubts when he thought that his works didn't deserve as much recognition as it had received. The truth is, imposter syndrome is more common than we think. That brings up the question, why can't so many of us shake away the feeling that we are not deserving of our accomplishments, ideas, and skills?
That is a really good question, sis. Personally, I think that personality traits play a really huge factor to imposter syndrome. This is because certain personality traits we have are more associated with imposter syndrome than the others. Perfectionists, for instance, they set the bar too high for themselves that they think perfection is the only pass mark to measure their success. Therefore, when they only achieve 95% of their goal, they will usually overlook the 95% of their achievements. Instead, they will focus too much on the 5% they missed as proof of their incompetence.
I see. Another point I can think of is the social media effect. There is a saying that goes, we see ourselves in a live movie while we see others in their highlight reels. Basically, this means that while we are very clear about our own struggles, doubts, and confusions, we tend to see others in their with their polished outcomes only. This creates an asymmetry where we think of others as naturally confident and gifted while we are struggling behind the scenes. Um, so in as this goes, we might have a negative self-view, but in reality, most people actually have internal chaos too. It's just that they don't show it publicly.
That's really true, sis. Also, I think that workplace environments are also related in imposter syndrome, as we suggested that this this phenomenon is around work. Yeah, because usually in high pressure office, this fraud feeling can often be exaggerated even more by our external biases. Thus, it will be very hard for us to feel belong in our workplace when we are surrounded by high achievers in our daily environments. All right, that is enough for our discussion. Now, let's move on and apply everything in a real life scenario.
Sounds good.
So, imagine this, we have Alex, who is a software developer, and he has been working for his company for 3 years. Alex is known as an outstanding employee as he recently just managed to lead a project that generate millions for his company.
Wow, that is a valuable employee right there.
Indeed, sis. Even his boss also acknowledged his achievement by promoting him to senior manager.
That is good, as it should be.
Yeah, I know, right? He totally deserved his promotion right there. But can you believe that the first thing that popped out in his mind wasn't, yes, I actually deserve all of my promotion, and this is credit to my effort I I put into my work.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, yeah. But unfortunately, that is the case for my guy Alex right there. His first thought was actually, oh my god, seriously? I'm getting promoted to senior manager? Me, a- an incapable trash piece of person like me? Oh my god. I I am so I'm so damn cooked. I'm sure that I will be getting exposed so much in the future by my coworkers.
Oh no.
Yeah, from that from that onwards, Alex starts over preparing in his work. He starts to stay up in his office until 9 p.m. just to check all of his works because he's so terrified that he might miss any single details, even the tiniest ones that might not even matter in meetings. Besides that, he also stopped contributing in meetings because he's afraid that when he actually spoke something, it might make him look stupid it will and he will face judgment by his co-workers.
That sounds like a waste of talent right there by not contributing in meetings. And then something I learned about imposter syndrome is that even though it sounds counterintuitive, imposter syndrome actually feels more intense as you are unlocking a new level of higher difficulty. This is because they gain awareness of what they don't know, and at the same time, they are getting thrown into a more complex, high achieving environment where people around them are also high achievers. Ironically, when there are high achievers around you, you tend to feel more average and incapable. Um, so from what I heard by Kaujan's scenario, this sounds like Alex is going through a defensive mechanism where he's working harder but not contributing much, not expressing himself enough. His the knowledge that he has learned is not actually being known by others of by his colleagues, which will result in a self-fulfilling prophecy as it will hinder his growth as a senior manager.
That is so true. The truth is, imposter syndrome thrives in secrecy, which means that if Alex keeps and suppress all of his negative feelings longer and longer in his heart, the imposter syndrome in him will be getting stronger and he will be doubting himself even further. The reason why Alex does this to himself, which honestly it just sounds like self-torturing at this point, and and it looks like he's stuck in a loop that is so hard to get out, basically an infinity loop. But yeah, the reason why he did all of this is because he thinks that he's the only one who is going through all of these negative feelings. The truth is, maybe, just maybe, if he actually tried to speak all of the feelings out to maybe his peers, his colleagues, or just someone he trusted, yeah, maybe then he will realize that he wasn't the only person who is going through this entire infinity loop. Uh, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of people actually can feel what Alex is going through. Because, like what my sister said, imposter syndrome is even more common than we thought in this society because of how performative everyone is nowadays. So,
Yep, support system is very important.
so maybe if Alex just talk it out to someone, then maybe it will lessen his burden even more, and it might help relieve all of the negative feelings in his heart. Because let's let's face it, we all know that um, keeping toxic substance in our body is never a good thing, right?
Right, absolutely.
So to wrap things up, if you are feeling like an imposter in your workplace at some point, maybe right now, maybe before that, or maybe in the future, just remember to acknowledge this feeling as growth, which means that you have to rewire your mind to think that you are actually in a growing phase. You are actually actively getting better as a person, as a human being. And imposter syndrome is definitely not a reflection of your actual ability. I do understand that it is normal for us humans to seek improvement in order to become a better human being. And honestly, who doesn't want to be better, right? We
Yeah,
we all love to improve, but remember that obsession is always something that will harm you, even when the intention is actually good. So being obsessed in seeking improvement can actually strengthen the imposter syndrome feeling, and as a result it might lead to burnout um, and severe drop in your performance in your work.
indeed. Imposter syndrome happens when there is attribution bias. So, for example, when someone gives credit for his success towards external factors such as luck, timing, or help from other people, while they blame themselves and attribute all the things that go wrong or failure towards internal flaws. But actually, so what is the point is that imposter syndrome is less about one's own ability, but rather it's more about someone's interpretation of their own success.
That's right.
And so I would advise everyone here to document all their wins so for proof so that when you feel insecure again, you can remember how far you have come. Imposter syndrome only happens when most of the time, imposter syndrome happens when you are stepping out of your comfort zone. So, yep.
It is important to all of the workers. You guys have to be aware that there is a reason why you are hired by your company. During the interview phase, they definitely seen something in you that you might be actually overlooking. Yeah. So, and there is a reason why they hired you. They definitely believe in your talent, even though it might be hard for you to believe that you have talent. I mean, I'm not sure if it makes sense to you or not, but yeah, that's how it goes. But in short, remember that you are talented, You are more than capable and you belong to where you are. That is all for today's episode of our podcast, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.